Welcome to Music She Missed, the podcast where I try to get my best friend caught up in some of the most popular songs and artists that impact our lives. I'm Allison.
Hey Allison, my name's Rachel, and I'm the one that has missed all the music.
You sure are.
I'm being a dork today.
You are being a dork. Rachel, welcome back to this show that we do.
Thanks.
We've got a fun show ahead for this week. I've got something planned I think you're really going to like.
I hope. Because I liked last week.
Yeah, I think you will like this week too. But before we do that, I have to do my tangentially related question. Yes. So you know that I studied linguistics.
Yes, you have.
And you also know my husband.
Yes, I do.
Okay. So have you ever noticed that my husband and his immediate family say tomato instead of tomato?
I think I recognized that like a couple Easters ago that we were hanging out, and I was like, please pass the tomato. And I was like, huh, nice.
Yeah.
Moving on. But I think it's from like more East Coast, specifically Virginia.
You are correct.
And I lived in Virginia for about 4 years, and I kind of am used to seeing that, especially because my aunt and uncle still live in Virginia.
So I want to ask you, I want to do like a little linguistics quiz with you.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you two versions of a word, and I want to know which one you say.
I'd probably say both.
Can you pick like the dominant one?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Either, either.
Either.
Neither, neither.
Neither.
Weird. Potato, potato.
Potato.
Tomato, tomato.
Tomato.
Okay, I knew that one already. Pajamas, pajamas.
Pajamas.
Okay. Laughter, laughter.
Laughter.
And after, after.
After.
Vanilla or vanilla?
Vanilla.
Say it again.
Vanilla.
Huh. Sarsaparilla or sarsaparilla?
Sarsaparilla.
Huh.
It's kind of a mixture of both, and that's why people don't know where I'm from.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's very interesting.
Kind of lived all over the U.S., all over Europe, all over Asia.
I know.
Lived in Africa for a while, too. I know linguistics is your thing.
Yeah.
And you chatting with your best friend about linguistics is kind of a normal thing, but what does this have to do with Music She Missed?
Okay. Did any of the questions I just asked you sound like song lyrics to you?
That one song that you hear like in big bands.
Mm-hmm.
Either, either. Let's call the whole thing off.
Hey!
Oh! Who is that person?
That's going to be our big reveal. Are you ready to do the drum roll?
I have no who that person is, but I just said part of the song. Okay.
That's great. Let's
Ready,
do the drum roll.
Ready?
Yeah.
Set? Go.
Ella Fitzgerald.
Really?
Have you heard of her before?
I didn't know she sang that song. Wait, it is a her, right? Wait, no.
Yes.
Yes, that's a female.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay, so you know she's a woman.
Yeah.
And you know that
It's
song.
more big band-ish.
Yeah.
So probably 1930s?
Later than that.
40s?
Yeah. That's a good guess. Any other things you want?
I was
think
not
you know?
alive during the 1930s or 40s, so...
Not new information for me.
So this is like before my time.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't... Would she still be alive?
She actually still is alive.
Wow. Rock on.
Yeah.
Cool.
She turned 100 in 2017. As of this recording, she's still alive. I should point that out.
Huh.
Because
Well,
she is 100 years old.
I hope she doesn't die, like, by the time we air. Aww.
Me too. Do you know any other songs by Ella Fitzgerald?
I feel like she did another song on that one, my favorite movie, You've Got Mail.
That is
So
likely.
my guess is, yeah, I would know, because that's like, if I'm sick, that's the movie I watch.
Mm-hmm.
Or if I'm sick and I want to read a good book, I always go back to Little Woman. I don't know why, I just do.
So in You Got Mail, what's the song that you're thinking of?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh.
Do you think I remember the artist's name?
No, the title of the song.
Oh, again, I don't know. Could be Splishing and a Splashing.
It's
but that's
not
a guy.
Splishing and a Splashing.
I know that song's in that movie.
I'm going to throw out some titles, and you can just tell me yay or nay.
Okay.
Okay? Someone to watch over me.
Someone to... Yeah, I like that song. That's her?
Mm-hmm. Too darn hot.
Pass.
Okay. Duke's Place.
Pass.
Summertime.
Wintertime. So
That'll
pass.
be a pass. A tisket, a tasket.
Oh. I think I might. Maybe
A
not.
maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, here's one that I'm sure you'll know. Baby, It's Cold Outside.
That's her.
Well, there's many versions of that song, of course. 'Cause
But
it's a
she's the
Christmas
one that made
standard.
it famous.
She does a very popular version of it, yes.
Is she the one that did it on that Elf movie?
I don't know which version of that song is in Elf. I think it's just the actors in Elf singing it.
Oh. So that wouldn't be her.
No.
Because, yeah. Moving on.
Okay, so you knew a couple of those titles.
Yeah, I think I'm going to like this week.
I think you are too. So this is actually, we are venturing into a new genre because we haven't really done any jazz or swing before.
Oh, this is jazz or swing.
You said big band. I thought you knew what we were talking about.
I didn't know big band definitely means jazz or swing.
That's what big bands play.
Oh. Well, learn something new every day.
And special.
Are we going to have a guest host?
Yeah,
Oh,
we
fun.
are.
Who?
So a friend of mine who is a swing DJ,
Really?
Stephanie, is going to come join us.
I love her. Oh, I'm so excited to hang out with her.
Well, she loves Ella Fitzgerald
I bet
and
she does.
knows a lot about her. And so she's going to be bringing her expertise to share with us after the break.
Great. I'm excited.
Let's talk about your homework. Together with Stephanie, we've created an hour-long playlist of some of Ella's biggest hits for you to listen to and enjoy.
Yeah?
And you got to listen to them all week, and then we'll come back together for that big conversation.
Cool. I'm excited. Yay. Let's get this week started.
I agree. Let's go.
Here we go. Wait. We can't go yet.
Why not?
Because I haven't, rated how much I know her or not.
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being you've never heard her before, and 10 being she's your favorite, where would you rank your current knowledge of Ella Fitzgerald?
I would say 2, maybe 3. Yeah, 3. 2.
Wow.
2. I like a good even number.
2 is good. You knew a song,
Yes.
but you didn't know it was her.
No.
And you didn't really know any other songs.
No, and I didn't know how to connect jazz and big band. So I think I'm going to learn a lot this week, but also things that I probably should have known.
I think you will too.
I think this week will be fun. So here we go now.
Okay, let's go.
Now we can go.
Welcome back. Rachel, you spent the last week listening to Ella Fitzgerald. But before we talk about her, I do have a little correction to make for our listeners out there who are already writing angry emails. I mistakenly looked at her birth date and didn't notice the death date, so I thought she was 100 years old. I am wrong.
You're never wrong.
Occasionally.
Occasionally.
I can fall from grace. And so, sorry to be the one to tell you, Ella Fitzgerald is no longer with us. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry. But we do have somebody with us. We actually have 2 somebodies with
Ooh.
us. We have my baby.
Yay.
So
Welcome,
audience,
baby.
Yes, our audience at home might hear some little coos like that.
Oh, he's so cute.
He is super cute, and he's here to share his love of Ella Fitzgerald. But we also have our true guest host, Stephanie. Welcome, Stephanie.
Hey, thanks, guys.
So glad you're here.
So glad you're here. Thank you so much for being here and making the time.
Me too. I love Ella Fitzgerald.
And
Good.
she is a huge fan and, I think, expert. She's read all the biographies. You know, she knows the music. She's a DJ. She knows what's going on. So this is a good chance for you, Rachel, to really get to know a lot about Ella's music and her, as a person.
Yeah.
But before we jump in with Stephanie, I want you, Rachel, to talk about your week. How was it?
I had an amazing week. I had
Really?
so much fun. I really like Ella Fitzgerald, and I'm not going to say my rating yet.
Well, you can't.
No, I can't, because I want to learn so much more. But I do want to say that this week was kind of just really exciting for me in many ways. And so I have an announcement.
Okay.
Let's do a drum roll.
All right.
Are you ready? Here we
Yes.
go, baby.
Drum roll.
I am now a subscriber to Spotify.
Spotify Premium.
Yes.
Whoa, so are you telling us that listening to Ella Fitzgerald is
Yes.
what made you?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So we're into season 3, and I'm not a music person. I mean, not a music person at
Stephanie,
all.
our
This is
audience
huge.
is aware of this,
This
but
is
you may not be.
massive. That
No, I've listened.
like I listen to Spotify, for my 1 hour of homework
Right.
and nothing more.
But you
and
actually,
so
you're paying the
yes,
$10
I'm
or whatever.
yeah, subscriber to be able to push repeat because I love Ella Fitzgerald. Like I'll finish a song and I'm just like, oh my goodness, I love this song. I just fell in love with this person in like for 3 to 4 minutes, and I can't help myself. I've got to fall in love again. Repeat.
Stephanie, this is a big deal.
This is massive,
This
massive.
is huge. So,
So-
can you help Rachel learn a little
Yes.
bit more about Ella Fitzgerald by maybe just starting with some of her history, her childhood?
Yeah, I'm curious.
Where's
she from? All that kind of jazz.
Well, she's actually from Virginia, and she was born in
Ooh, East Coaster.
1917, from Newport, Virginia, or Newport. It doesn't matter. And she grew up as an only child,
Oh, I
and
like
she was
older
really
children.
smart and very good in school. But then her mother passed away
Oh,
from a
that's
car
sad.
wreck when she was 15. And so, Ella she kind of started skipping school.
Uh-oh.
She was doing some shady things with the mafia. She
Like
actually,
the legit mob.
she actually worked as a lookout for one of the bordellos. And
Oh my
she got
goodness.
arrested. Yeah, I went to reform
See,
school.
Kids, you need to stay in school.
Stay in school.
Do not join
or
the
you'll
mafia.
end up being the most famous singer ever.
I would actually call her. She's actually named the First Lady of Song.
No,
which
wait a
she
second.
is.
Did she name herself?
No.
Because I know Madonna names herself as the Queen of Pop. So she got this name by herself?
No,
or did
actually,
someone name
other
her?
people posthumously have named her that.
Wow, that's mega. That's
Yeah.
actually really cool.
It's very cool. She's actually a really big deal, Ella
Huh.
Fitzgerald. Yeah,
Tell me more.
Okay.
Well, where
Do
we
you have
were
a
in
question, though?
where we were in the story is she was a 15-year-old homeless girl. So
Yeah, so she ran away from
Wait, she was homeless at this
she
point?
ran away from reform school and was homeless because she didn't want to go back.
Aw.
And so she literally sang on the streets of Harlem and
To get
did
money.
dancing too to get money, just like you see now
Panhandle.
people try to do. Yeah,
Wow.
she is one of the ones that made it. And as a matter of fact, she didn't just make it; she reformed music for our
Wow.
culture
That's
for
mega.
almost a decade.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
very
So
cool.
she's homeless.
Yeah.
And how did she become this amazing Ella Fitzgerald that is now causing me to buy a subscription of Spotify?
Well, she grew up. She grew up really liking the albums of this one singing group, and her name was Connie Boswell. She was one of the Boswell sisters.
I have no idea who that is.
That's okay. You
most
don't need to
people
know.
don't know.
You don't
okay,
need to
so I'm
know
not the
right
only
now.
one. Yay!
No, but she tried to mimic her. She wanted
Huh.
to be exactly like her, and so what she did was. She heard that the Apollo Theater, which all of our listeners hopefully will know that is a big deal as well, the Apollo in Harlem, was having an amateur night.
Huh.
And so she tried out, and instead of dancing like she initially was going to do, she decided to sing because she was intimidated. Actually, no one would really imagine it, but her whole life, Ella Fitzgerald sang because she felt very awkward when she was speaking.
Huh.
Yeah, she felt
That's really
interesting.
cool.
she felt very uncomfortable, thought she was an awkward speaker, which I can identify with.
You're doing
Well,
great,
you're doing great,
Stephanie.
Stephanie.
So yeah,
So she wins this prize at the Apollo. for
$25.
$25.
Yeah.
$25.
And
wow.
she was supposed to also get a week's gig, like to be able to perform there, but because she was so
disheveled.
yeah, and homeless
Oh.
looking, they
Oh,
didn't give
dear.
her that. part of the
No, but
prize.
someone was there that night and heard her sing, and that was Chick Webb. He was a drummer and had his own orchestra
Wow.
at the time, and she basically
Am
got
I supposed to know who Chick Webb is?
you maybe later, maybe later,
maybe later
in
in
another
life?
show. In another show, maybe
Okay.
we'll.
Oh, so
discuss.
he does his own stuff?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
okay.
yes.
Like the orchestra leader of
of a band, of
So
an
let's
orchestra.
talk about big bands for a minute, because I think it's important that Rachel understand like the structure of music at the time and how, you know, what was popular and what was going on.
Yes, please
Well,
tell
if
me.
if you remember in the 20s, the
Prohibition.
Prohibition happened,
Okay.
and the radio also came into being.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think they called it a stereophone,
Yeah.
something like that.
Like in
At any
Downton
rate.
Abbey, they kind of fought
Yes.
against it, but it became a really
Yes,
big deal.
exactly. Right after the war, after 21, the radios became more popular. Yes, and that changed how music happened. You know, initially, people were famous by traveling, but now we have all these big bands that are getting together. They're orchestras, swing orchestras, who can be on the radio and who can also make albums for record players.
Huh.
And so they sold records and stuff too.
And that's those black things.
Yes, those black things that sometimes
That are
hang on
about
the
a foot
wall.
wide.
Yeah, they hang on the wall a lot of times. What's her name in Pretty in Pink posted them on or stapled them to the ceiling, and I literally threw up. I was so upset.
She stapled them
She
to the
stapled.
ceiling.
Let's get back on track though.
So she joins Chick Webb's orchestra.
Huh.
And is the singer in his orchestra for years and years, right?
How
Yeah,
long?
they did about 52 albums,
Wow.
52 records.
That's oh my! I had no idea.
Is that a lot?
That's a lot.
Okay.
That's
So
a lot.
how many years were they together?
Almost 20.
Wow.
Almost 20. She actually
So
married
was she,
the
like-
bass player at the time,
Oh.
and then divorced him because he had really bad drug and gambling problems.
Issues.
That's a good reason.
Issues.
Yeah.
Back to Julie Michaels. But, and then she just got a lot of on-the-job training with Chick Webb, and then when he died from spinal TV, she took over the orchestra, and it became Ella Fitzgerald's famous orchestra.
Huh.
So what kind of spurred her? Like Rachel, maybe you were going to ask, like, what kind of made her popular?
Yeah.
What brought her from being a singer in a group
Like
to
and a homeless woman who won just $25, might I add.
Well,
the orchestra?
the thing
Yeah.
about Ella is that she had a keen awareness. You know, she grew up going to the Methodist church and she got musical training there. So the key thing about Ella is that she could make her voice do almost anything. And so she played at the Savoy Ballroom, which is a very famous place to dance.
Cool.
And she co-wrote a song with her then husband, Ray Brown, called A Tisket, a Tasket.
Oh, I like that song. I listened to that song.
Yeah,
It's
and
on
that's
your playlist
That's
for
why we
that
put
reason.
it on your playlist, is because that was one that she co-wrote. Now, at the
Oh,
time,
wait a second. Co-wrote. So she didn't write all of her songs?
no, actually, at the time, people sent songs to her that would fit with her vocal range. Usually, music was focused at that time during the big band / orchestra era on the composers like Gershwin or Cole Porter.
They would
Okay.
write songs and then send them to the performers. To
Oh.
perform.
And if you haven't noticed, being a new member on Spotify, if you look up A Tisket, a Tasket, it comes up with several different artists who have
Huh.
sung it.
Almost all of the songs that are on your playlist have that trait.
And what those are called
But
are
she's the one that made it
standards.
famous.
Yes.
Or
Okay.
is
It made her famous, rather.
Okay.
But those are called standards. And I don't know if you've heard of it, Allison and I have, but there's called the American Songbook.
the Great American Songbook.
So basically,
that?
it's lots of albums of all these songs that are focused on composers that Ella could change her voice to
Huh.
emulate each one.
Wow. And
She-
so are there, other than A Tisket and a Tasket, are there other songs from this book?
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of Cole Porter songs
Can
and
you
a
give
lot
an
of
example for her?
Yes, actually a lot of Cole Porter songs are in the Great American Songbook, one of them being most famously Someone to Watch Over Me.
I love that song. Oh,
She
that is
also
such a dreamy song.
She also sang Three Little Maids from School from the Mikado,
I'm
which
not familiar with that.
the
Nah.
Mikado, it's a Japanese opera.
Oh, okay, yes.
She actually sang in that.
Oh, wow.
She's been on several TV appearances, like Ed Sullivan's Show.
Cool.
Yeah, after her popularity began to rise, she was on every show. You know, because as well as music changing, TV was invented.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so they had talent nights on TV, like Ed Sullivan, like performance shows.
Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
the whole family could sit down and watch. And Ella was very popular on all of those.
Well,
Really?
I mean, she has a great voice, right? So,
She does.
And the other thing is that she is talented enough to be able to cross genres. And so I'd love, Stephanie, for you to talk about like the different eras and the different kind of main styles of music that she is performing. Unfortunately, Rachel, your playlist doesn't cover them all. But
Oh.
I think it's important that you know.
Could you make me a new playlist
Sure.
so I could play on my new Spotify account?
Yeah, so you could kind of get the gist of all of what she was able to do.
Unfortunately, Spotify and Pandora and other programs like that, most of the Ella repertoire is most of her combinations with other groups, like the Ink Spots, Louis Armstrong.
There were several of those on your playlist.
Yeah, several of those that are actually quote unquote her most famous are really duets that she's done with other people.
Huh.
And actually, I thought it was very interesting when I was reading about her several years ago. It's very popular now to dub over a song by one artist and sing the other part. So that Christmas song that you like, where Ella is singing Baby It's Cold Outside,
Yeah.
is actually done posthumously.
Really?
Okay, explain to me. What?
So what they do is they take a recording, an original recording,
Uh-huh.
and they drop, because of all the cool stuff they can do now, the advances in music and technology, they can drop out the other person that was singing with them and sing instead.
So they're putting Ella's voice in where some other woman was singing.
Shania Twain, or Shania Twain's done it. They've done it with Michael Jackson. They've done it with all of the old people that are passed. They've a lot of Christmas albums, especially, they'll come out with a song that's a duet with someone who's dead. So
That is kind of cool, though.
It's kind of cool. But, again, that's another transition from how music used to be. Your original question was, how has she changed music?
Yeah.
Well, she started out in the big band era.
Uh-huh.
The swingy
The
kind of
swingy
stuff.
kind of big, lots of instruments.
Can you give
Not
an
marching
example
bands.
song for that?
Not marching bands. No, that's
Those are
very
different kinds of bands.
It's a very different kind of band. Band is an umbrella term. Because a band can also be 5 people. So band, like we were saying, could be several different things. But the bands we're talking about are like 15 to 20 piece, where you have all sorts of people who are specify and playing a certain
And that's
thing.
where the trumpets I heard, too.
Right,
Okay.
exactly. And so that kind of fell out in the late 40s, early 50s.
That's sad. I like
Yeah.
that big band sound.
I did too. Actually, a lot of people still try to carry it on today, but in the terms of popular music, it kind of changed and went to more of the jazz end of things, and that's where you get bebop. Now, bebop is something that Ella herself was very integral in doing.
Bebop, like Will Smith.
Not exactly.
No, like,
But-
that one show that he did, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, he says bebop in his
He
intro
does.
song.
He does. But again, that's kind of a term that's used in a lot of different ways.
Oh.
But the idea is still there.
Okay.
Is that you use your voice to sound like the instrument,
That's called
which is scatting.
Have you heard of that before? Scatting?
I don't think so, no.
So, like Stephanie said, where you're imitating an instrument. So a lot of times it would be songs that were purely instrumental, and you could kind of sing nonsense syllables and like create that kind of sound to imitate.
What do you mean? Can you give me an example?
Skippity bop bop, like those kinds of little
Oh, okay, so that's when she,
doo-wop, doo-wop, doo-wop.
when she was doing that stuff.
doo-wop,
Yeah.
doo-wop, doo-wop,
So
doo-wop.
you make your...
Right, good job. Good
Okay,
job.
so you make yourself sound like an instrument.
Yes.
Ah,
Yes.
okay. I think my dad knows how to ska. No,
Scat.
Scat.
Ska
Okay.
is a different genre.
We can talk
for a
about that
different day.
later.
Oh, okay. Scat. He
Yes.
can play the trumpet without an instrument in his.
Yes. That is scatting. So
Okay.
yes. And Ella made that very popular because she was really good at it.
Huh.
And she could make her voice do all sorts of different things. So when
She
she's
is
listed,
talented.
she doesn't actually play an instrument, but people say that she plays the voice as her instrument because she
I
was
could totally believe that.
so darn good at it.
She is very good at it.
And Stephanie, you also, it doesn't stop at jazz.
No,
she
not at
actually
all.
keeps going, and her music evolves. Do you want to talk about that briefly? It's not on your
Sure.
playlist, Rachel,
Well,
unfortunately.
Spotify.
Well, you could always make a new playlist for me.
We could. Spotify has a lot of her stuff with that are duets with other people.
Okay.
However, it doesn't have a lot of her blues stuff.
Bummer.
Yeah, I've got several LPs if you'd like to borrow them, but
Those are the black things.
Yes, those are the
The
black
records.
round records.
Yes, yes.
The big records.
The big records. But there's a lot of music that is not lost, but just not as popular these days.
Oh.
She actually was formative in blues as well and jazz.
Wow.
Like she was fantastic.
So what we're telling you, Rachel, is that Ella's a really big deal.
Yes.
She influenced a lot of people,
Uh-huh.
and she was influenced by a lot of people.
Yeah. So who did she get inspired by?
Well, I think we mentioned it earlier, but she used to listen to the Boswell sisters like
Yes.
ad nauseum.
But some contemporaries also.
But some contemporaries as well. You know, she was really good friends with Frank Sinatra. And
Oh.
actually, she got her first gig at the Hollywood Bowl at the Macombo, which is a huge, huge place, a huge nightclub, because Marilyn Monroe was integral in getting it for her.
What do you mean?
Well, they didn't want to have a black singer.
Mm-hmm.
And Marilyn Monroe was like, you are missing out. So I refuse to let this happen. And so Marilyn Monroe, as influential, I guess is what we'll say, as she
Okay.
was at the time, made it happen.
She just made it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Said, "Hey,
She
I'm
actually,
Marilyn
as
Monroe,
well,
Ella Fitzgerald gets to sing."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ella Fitzgerald
That's really
also, she toured everywhere.
Really?
Yeah, she toured to Berlin.
Just in the US?
She toured,
Oh,
no,
no.
she toured all over the world. She toured to Africa.
Cool.
And one time she was going to Australia to sing a gig, and Pan Am refused to let her fly on the plane.
Once
because-
again, because she's black.
Well, it was never stated, but she did win the civil suit.
Wow.
Wow.
So at that time, if you think about it, in the 60s and 70s, a lot was going on in our country.
Yeah.
Ella Fitzgerald herself saw a lot of changes in our country.
Yeah, she's been alive for a long time, like 100 years.
It's funny you mentioned Berlin.
I'm just playing.
Okay. I guess
Zing.
since we usually make fun of you, we
I know.
can make fun of me one time.
One time.
So you did mention Berlin, and there was a song that was recorded in Berlin,
Because it is my favorite.
and that was the Mac the Knife cover. That was Stephanie's favorite.
I like that song.
And that song was Grammy nominated.
Really? So she's got a lot of awards and stuff.
14 Grammys in her lifetime, a Presidential
14
Medal of Honor,
Wow.
and she's got stamps.
Wait, which president gave her the Medal of Honor?
Reagan.
Reagan. Oh,
I
I like
believe
Reagan.
it was Reagan.
Okay.
It's a great picture of her on the internet with Reagan.
Cool.
She was declining in health.
Oh.
And, later in years, they decided that they would, I don't know if the stamps were posthumous or if they were.
She has postage stamps?
Yeah, I've got them framed on my wall.
That's cool. I want to go to
Yeah.
your house. And
You should
look at your
come.
wall.
I've got a lot of albums, too, that have her on them. They look great. Like, Ella sings the
Do you
blues.
frame those too?
Oh, yeah. Like,
do you
the
listen
Mac
to
the
them?
Knife, the one that she recorded in Berlin where she forgot the lyrics. See, she made them
What?
up. She
So
just...
Rachel doesn't know probably the original lyrics to Mac the Knife, so wouldn't it be soup? I mean, the ones she's making up kind of make it sound like, hey, I forgot the words and I'm just making this up while I sing to this.
But
live
she was
audience.
Ella Fitzgerald, and so she could do it. Think
Yeah.
of Adele. Think of Adele
Oh,
today.
I love Adele.
She sings in the rain. She sings even though things are happening. She sings even though her eyelash falls off. Like, Adele is so classy. And that's something about Ella that I think I texted you, is that she's classic, classy, and clean. She's
Yeah.
good for the whole family. Now, I will tell you.
I love letting my little girl listen to her.
Yes,
She really liked dancing to her in the kitchen.
Good. Everybody does. And that's what makes swing dancing so popular.
Yeah.
People have been learning to partner dance for forever.
So, you mentioned that she's clean, she's classy. This is why so many people like her. But I want to hear from you, Rachel. We've heard a lot of good information, but were there any songs you didn't like?
No, honestly, there wasn't.
Really?
Like, there was no songs that I disliked. So some of my favorites out of the Spotify list that we had was Bewitched, Bewildered, and wait.
Bothered and Bewildered?
Yes, Bothered and Bewildered. All the B words. It was kind of fun. It was
That's a
just
nice
here's a
song.
little story. So my little girl's going off to school for the first day. Is actually tomorrow. And so we're going through the alphabet and kind of still, doing that summertime schooling stuff. And so that day was the B. And so we were kind of just like, and so it was kind of fun to dance around with that song and then work on our B's. Bewitched. And so I just, I'd say it out a little bit more emphasis on the B part, and so
That's cute.
hopefully she'll forever know her B's
Using-
with Ella Fitzgerald.
Using
That's
music in
awesome.
education is
Yeah.
super important. It's really helpful.
You know, everything I ever learned in science class, I put to a song.
Really?
And she's a nurse, so that's a lot of stuff.
That's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of music.
I can tell you my cranial nerves really quickly.
What were
That's
some of your
cute.
other favorites, Rachel?
I loved Someone to Watch Over Me. I thought that was just so romantic and so sweet and just so...
What specifically did you like about it?
I liked her delivery of the lyrics.
Like the emotion?
Yeah,
behind
where
it?
you just felt what she was feeling. And then the connection of the band with that song, it sounded like she was dancing with the band. As just her as an artist, band as an artist, and just her and how she delivered it sounded like they were dancing, and it was a love dance. And I just thought that was really pretty. It was just that thought in my head. I also loved Duke's Place.
Let's talk about that one.
The trumpets. Oh my, the trumpets. They were just so great. So I love trumpets, and some of our listeners do know that I had trumpets at my wedding. And so if I could rewind and go back, I would want my trumpeteers from my wedding to play Duke's Place at my wedding. I would have loved that.
So Duke's Place is one of probably my favorite one
Really?
on that playlist. And I think it's just, because Stephanie and I are both swing dancers, like, it's just really nice.
It's a perfect song.
It's a great tempo. It's got a lot to play with as a dancer. And, really and truly, a lot of music was geared towards experiencing it.
Huh.
It's a
You know,
live performance.
It's a
or
live performance.
group dance.
It's very definitely something that is meant to be experienced. Passion. I know there's passion in today's music, but it's not quite the same. It's not the same. So you definitely can feel, I think one of the best things in the world is to go to a really good live band and hear some of these standards, as we call them, and just hear how they interpret it, how they choose to sing it, where they emphasize the music.
Yeah.
And Ella just had a sweet spot for that.
She did. She was very talented.
And when you're dancing, you kind of get to contribute to that musical interpretation.
Yeah.
That's what makes it so interesting. It's like, here's this song that a bunch of people have recorded. Here's one particular interpretation, and then a dancer brings their own interpretation to it as well. So
Yeah.
you get to
This
have all
whole-
these layers.
Yeah, these layers of emotions and personal parts of when you take part in the dance.
Well, and one thing, once you've listened to Ella for a while, is that you can hear the same song over and over and over again by several different people, but you can always pick out Ella's voice. Always. She has a very distinct voice, and it doesn't matter who has played it. If it's her song, it's the best one. It's usually the best rendition.
That's really cool. That's really cool.
And one more favorite from you, Rachel?
Actually, I have two more.
Two
Sorry,
more.
I loved
No.
her so much.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm glad.
Let's Call the Whole Thing Off and
Yes.
Dream a Little Dream of Me. Both of those songs were just fun, but I love the songs. She was just wonderful, and I had a lot of fun this week. So,
That's great.
Good. I'm so glad.
So we've gotten to learn about Ella. We've gotten to talk about the songs you liked. We've discovered that there are no songs that you disliked.
nope.
Let's get to the rating.
Okay.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being garbage, 10 being you love her, like
Not Garbage the band, but
she doesn't know
I don't
garbage
even know
is
who
a band.
Garbage is a band.
So 1 being trash that's not a band, is it?
I don't think so.
Okay, so 1 being trash and 10 being your favorite. Where would you place Ella Fitzgerald?
I think I'm not surprised by this rating.
Yeah.
She's going to get 11.
Oh my God. Wait, this is our first 11 since
We
Adele.
cranked it
Adele.
to 11.
I know. She won't get that joke either.
Oh.
So I know.
Is that a music joke?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, I actually made that joke in that episode
Oh,
too.
you did? Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, really?
To
Sorry.
myself. There was nobody else there
You know
to
what? I
experience
feel
it
like
with.
we might share a brain just a little bit.
All right, so you're basically saying as much as you love Adele, you love.
I want to get her music. I want to subscribe to Spotify.
You want
Yeah.
to listen to it in your car, listen
Yeah.
to it.
I want to, I also, I don't know, like, so my husband plays alto sax, and I bought him a new reed this past week.
Wow.
And so I'm wondering if he'll play me some Ella Fitzgerald.
Well, you mentioned Adele. Actually, Adele is performance-wise very similar to Ella Fitzgerald.
That's not surprising to
It's
me
not
that Rachel
surprising.
rated it. It's not surprising to
Yeah.
me that you have rated them both very highly.
Well-
She picks songs particularly for herself. I would combine her on my hand with Celine Dion,
Okay.
Adele, Ella Fitzgerald, possibly Aretha Franklin,
Okay.
and then I don't know about the fifth, but I can only have 4 fingers at this point. But yeah, they have the same professional outlook on their music.
Cool. Well, I think for me, as I'm just really developing what I like, what I dislike, also what I know, what I don't know, I think I'm really excited to put her in the I like pile. So
I'm so happy.
So one thing that I am bummed about my 11 though is that I really can't go see her in concert because I've now learned that she has passed away, which kind of
Me too.
stinks.
Well, good for you is that there are some people that, now I will tell you, no one can sing like her, ever.
Yeah, she's
Ever.
just gorgeous.
But there are several people who maintain the big band singer focused attitude that you can go see.
Who are those people?
Well, Diana Krall,
She's great.
Don't know who that is.
she's a great, I would call her maybe jazz pop singer.
okay.
She
And a
has,
pianist also.
and a pianist.
Ooh, I
She
like
does play the
piano.
piano. Michael Bublé is very similar
Bublé.
very similar in his songs. He sings a
Style.
lot of the same standards.
I know the name. I don't know if I know any of his music.
You would if you heard it, because now you've heard Ella.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So he covers her.
He does.
Remember,
a
they're
lot
all
of people
pulling
do.
from the same list of songs.
Oh, yeah. True.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Who else?
Oh goodness, we could go on forever.
That's a good start.
That's a
Yeah.
good start. I'll start with those then.
All right. Well, Rachel, I'm really glad that you had a good week. And Stephanie, we just both thank you for being
Yeah,
here.
thank
for
you.
Your expertise. I know you could keep talking about Ella forever, but
Oh, there's so much.
this is not that long of a show. So,
I did have one more question for you, Rachel.
Oh, yeah.
Why is it that you don't know who some of these people are? Like
or who all of these people are.
I've listened to a lot of the shows in the past that y'all have done, and I mean, this is my like growing up. Like I don't.
Well, I think one thing is I've grown up all over the world, but even like Ella Fitzgerald, she traveled all over the world.
Michael Jackson did.
Yeah. So I do remember when I was a pen pal with someone in Norway, a little girl in Norway, and she said that her favorite music artist was Michael Jackson, and I think we were like 7 or 8 at the time, and I was like, Mom, who's Michael Jackson?
And
And
your mom is like, he's evil. Don't listen to him.
no.
That's what my mom said.
Really? No, my mom said that. She didn't say that at all. She was just like, "Oh, he's a good singer. He also likes to dance." And
And that's it.
she's like, but the thing is, we just didn't have that kind of a music in the house, I guess. But then also, like, I think last time I've had cable in my life was like 9th grade.
But your dad plays the trumpet, right?
Correct.
So their
my
family
dad
is
sings
musical,
opera. My
but not
mom
pop
plays.
music.
Yeah, my mom plays piano. My mom
So like
plays
Debussy
organ
and like
all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
My dad plays the guitar, trumpet. He does
classical guitar though,
Yes.
not pop guitar.
no
Church guitar.
church guitar.
Church guitar.
And then my brothers both play the guitar, harmonica. They're both professional. Like they sing beautifully on stage. Even my sister's gorgeous on the piano. She transposes. Listen to anything. Second, she can play it. Me too. I love piano too. But it just we're not doing that stuff.
Okay.
It was so I'd say your family background is part of it, but I think there's also almost a chosen
Yeah.
isolation, like obliviousness,
I
like
just
Okay.
not
into
paying
it.
attention. So like music's playing at a party or music's playing at a play.
A
So it's
restaurant.
like,
I just don't even listen.
She doesn't pay attention.
See, I
to
will
it.
be talking in mid conversation and at a restaurant, and the song comes on. I'm like, oh, that's Third Eye Blind.
I start singing to it.
I do too. See, we're sharing a brain.
See, I don't even hear it. Like
Wow.
it
Yeah.
took halfway into season 2 for me to go to a restaurant and then start realizing, oh wait, this isn't silence. There's music in the background.
Was it the
That is
sound of
music.
silence?
Another
And it's
music
just-
joke that Rachel doesn't get.
No, I don't. But
right,
I just I'm not into music nor
Okay,
really care about
fair.
it.
That's fair. I was just curious because it's been such a huge part of my life.
Now, it's a huge thing for my husband. He loves music, but I'm more into movies. Like, I love movie quotes, and I'll, like, have little movie quotes here and there. And
okay,
not
here's
music
one for
stuff.
you. What's brutal to one may not be brutal to another.
I don't know what that one is.
So I married an axe murderer.
Oh, well. On that note, audience, if you want to follow along with Rachel's journey of musical discovery, feel free to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, follow our playlists on Spotify by searching for Spotify /user music she missed, and rate and subscribe on iTunes.
Sounds good.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Glad you are here. Thank you so much for listening.
Thanks so much and have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Drum roll, drum roll.